the best.
And then there's this asshole.
I am the
Spectacular Spider-Man is without a doubt the best Spider-Man show, maybe thing we will ever get. The way Josh Keaton plays Spider-Man and Peter Parker is perfect. Since it's the same character, obviously, he has the same voice, but Josh really gives the voice a lot more confidence when he's Spider-Man. He's super witty and cracking jokes that are actually kind of funny.
Hand over the device. I'm thinking no.
He was a great choice, and he can switch from being witty Spider-Man to dorky Peter Parker in a flash. Also, as Spider-Man alongside with the jokes, the way Spidey moves in every fight scene is so fluent and it feels super in line with the comics. And this is really impressive in my eyes because not many forms of media have Spidey crawling around and maneuvering like they did in Spectacular Spider-Man. To me, he feels like the perfect Spider-Man, and he's only been doing it for 3 months, just the summer. So it's super early stages as Spider-Man, but it gives the great blend of the comics and the movies that no other Spider-Man has been able to perfect like Spectacular did. And with Josh Keaton's voice work, it makes it even better. When I think of Spider-Man VAs, I think Josh or Yuri. He's the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Spider-Man games, whatever. But it brings it all together and makes the show what it is today. Something Spectacular Spider-Man tackles actually really early on is the hard balance Peter has to face with being Spider-Man and Peter Parker at the same time. Already in episode 3, he's given an opportunity to take a serum and be just Peter, and he almost does until Ben's words stop him. With great power comes great responsibility. What I'm really getting at is the show highlights some somewhat adult themes about these characters, not just in Peter, but in some of the side characters. Eddie Brock and Harry Osborn, they too have their own struggles that may or not somewhat be like Peter's fault, but anyways, who cares about side characters? Well, actually, this show kind of does. This show is loaded with all the fan favorite Spider-Man villains. We got Black Cat, Rhino, Doc Ock, Electro, Sandman, Shocker, Green Goblin, Tombstone, Vulture, and finally, Venom. I may have missed one, but like, who cares? I said the main fellas, and like, everyone's here for me to explain why this is the best show. Or maybe the most spectacular Spider-Man show.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, whatever. Thought that one was an okay joke, but back to what I was talking about. The villains and their motives are actually pretty fleshed out. Vulture's motive is he feels cheated out of his idea because Norman Osborn stole it from him. And then Elektra's motive, well, not as strong, still makes sense. He's just angry about what happened and he's willing to do anything to maybe fix what happened. And then Green Goblin's motive really lies with Harry Osborn's struggles as he takes the Goblin Serum to try to prove himself to his father, Norman Osborn. Throughout the whole show, Norman is kind of a dick to Harry and always compares Harry to Peter and makes a lot of comments about Harry's shortcomings, leading him into drinking the serum and losing himself and becoming the Green Goblin. Norman Osborn, he's a big result in multiple villains. It's kind of normal. He's also the reason why Doc Ock was made, Sandman, Rhino, all that shit. But probably the biggest villain and a constant villain towards the end of the season is Eddie Brock as Venom. Eddie and Peter's relationship as the season goes on just gets worse and worse. First with the pictures of Connor, then Peter blowing off him, Gwen, and MJ, to Peter, like, sort of being the reason why Eddie gets fired because Eddie was supposed to keep the symbiote protected at the lab, but Black Cat steals it and bonds to Peter. So all this stuff and Peter getting the symbiote removed from him and then the symbiote attaching to Brock and all the hatred Eddie already had with the mixture of the symbiote's hate for Peter makes Venom just a big ol' hate boner for Peter. And I've been rambling, but his motives feel just, and it leads to a pretty cool season finale episode, so can't complain, you know. Anyway, I've talked a lot about side characters. It's probably time I get back to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. First of all, this motherfucker got game. First Gwen, then Liz, and then Mary Jane. Oh, can't forget Black Cat. This version of Spider-Man / Peter Parker can't lose. He gets all the bitches. But like, you know, that's kind of not entirely true. Peter Parker fucks up a lot, mainly towards his friends. His way of balancing things is terrible, and it makes him just look like an asshole. Like when he takes pictures of Kurt Connors instead of staying at the lab, or when he ditches Harry twice because he he was being Spider-Man. I don't mean this in the sense that it's a bad thing or it's the show's fault. More or less means he's a teenager with crazy responsibility. Peter is a flawed person, deep down. He messes up a lot, even if he's trying or is just helping. In the eyes of his friends, he's abandoning them, which is such a good thing to like talk about. It makes the story just so much more in depth, and it isn't just a Spider-Man show. Peter and his friends get loads of screen time, and it doesn't feel like filler either because they give such good character moments, and it's what makes me love not just Spider-Man, but the show as a whole. The creators once said they want Spectacular Spider-Man to be a classic. This will be a show to be remembered as the ultimate Spider-Man show. In their words, they say it's a dream that's either ridiculously hopeful or ridiculously naive. But to me, I think they succeeded. The show's 16 years old, and I'd rewatch it 20 times over. It is truly spectacular, and in my honest to God opinion, it is the greatest Spider-Man show we might ever get.